Hello, and welcome to Mind Window, the place where we catch your sorrows and return to the world a whole, happy, and peaceful you. Have you ever felt the first footsteps of summer when the sunbeams no longer hide or peek, but shine directly onto the pages of your books? There's a special name we have for a summer like that, a name full of nostalgia, the last summer of high school. It's a place that holds every memory of our school days, the joyful laughter, the happiness, but also the deep exhaustion that lingered in the days leading up to graduation. Summer always comes back, but that one unforgettable summer, once it's gone, will never return. So today, let's explore those feelings and stick around because the stories and confessions we have in store might just surprise you. I was visiting my parents' house the other day, and I realized my old room is still full of relics from what I still consider the biggest test of my life. I found old sticky notes with math formulas, outlines for literature essays, and a massive stack of practice tests for every subject, probably weighing a good 50 pounds. There was even a little whiteboard where I tracked my progress during the final 100-day countdown. Hearing this, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? For me, getting into college was everything. That whole process, that whole year, stretched my limits further than I ever thought possible. It was a time when I discovered a level of seriousness, focus, and strength in myself I never knew I had. I hope this episode gives a little extra strength to all the high school seniors out there now. And for those of us who are a little older, let this be an affirmation. You did an amazing job getting through such a monumental challenge. You know, when I was 17, I sometimes felt so young and fragile, but I never once thought about giving up. The challenges you're facing right now are just the first ones on your journey into adulthood. Getting through this is like stepping onto the main highway of your life. There will be so many more obstacles later on, but trust me, you'll get through all of them. For now, let's read some special letters from our listeners. Our first letter comes from a listener with the nickname Burnt Out Senior. Dear Mom and Dad, I just want to rest. This is my senior year. I know I'm supposed to be disciplined, work hard every day, and stick to a study schedule so I don't fall behind. But for some reason, I just feel so tired doing all of it. I get frustrated memorizing formulas. Then I get confused when I can't remember the meaning of a vocabulary word. Sometimes I feel a wave of panic and anxiety, filled with negative thoughts about not getting into college. How would you feel having a failure for a child? That thought is a constant reminder, a shadow that follows me everywhere I go. But I'm so tired. I just want to rest. I just want to go to bed early so my head will stop hurting. What am I supposed to do, Mom and Dad? Dear Burnt Out Senior, I've read your letter and I feel so much empathy for what you're going through. Senior year is truly a difficult time, full of worries, challenges, and especially the pressure that comes from the expectations of our parents, our loved ones, and ourselves. Sometimes those expectations unintentionally make our own fear of failure grow larger and larger. It is completely understandable to feel tired, discouraged, and anxious during this period. The pressure of studying and exams, combined with worries about the future, can leave you feeling completely drained. Just holding that fear inside only leads to prolonged stress and chronic fatigue, because your body doesn't know how to react to it. If one evening you feel completely exhausted with no motivation left to battle your homework, then just stop. Take a break. Get up and go outside. Take a walk around the neighborhood. Ride your bike to a place you love. Or simply take gentle steps, feeling them sync with your heartbeat. Feel the fresh air and see the beautiful nature around you. As your mind relaxes, the heavy burdens and worries will slowly dissolve, making way for new creative ideas for that essay or the solutions to those math problems you were stuck on all night. Science has even shown that walking has huge benefits for creative thinking. When we move our bodies, we produce endorphins, which help reduce stress and stimulate positive thinking. That movement also boosts blood flow to the brain, enhancing focus and creativity. Let that motion remind you that you haven't stopped. You are still moving forward. It's okay to go a little slower for a while. Sometimes you have to slow down to find the right path so you can speed up and cross the finish line, right? Even though the pressure of getting into college feels immense and crucial, try to think of it as just one small stepping stone on your long journey. Just thinking that way will make you feel so much lighter. And when your mind is at ease, the test itself will feel easier than ever before. The next letter comes to us from a listener with the username LT. Right now, I'm a senior at a high school in a small town. My looks and my grades are just average. I don't know when it started, but I feel like I'm not the same person I used to be. The innocent and spunky girl who walked into high school as a freshman seems to be slowly fading away. Now, my mind is always lost in heavy thoughts. I don't know why, but my friends have noticed the change in me too. And it doesn't seem to be a positive one. I can see it myself. My smiles feel forced now. I can't find joy in things like I used to. My head is constantly filled with the worst-case scenarios for my life. It feels like I'm carrying some kind of invisible fear. I'm terrified I won't get into my first-choice college, that I won't live up to my parents' expectations. I'm scared my parents will never see me succeed. I'm afraid that my relationships will start to drift away, and what's worse, I don't even know what I like anymore. I feel apathetic about everything, slowly losing the simple joys that once made me happy. Could it be that the pressure of exams and applications has made me lose myself? I just want all the effort I'm putting in to be rewarded with something worthwhile, but that reward hasn't come yet. I hope I can find my way back to myself soon. Dear LT, it's not that you've lost yourself. Everything that has always been inside you is still there. It's just that at different stages of life, some things have to take a back seat to make room for what's more important at the moment. Emotions are the same way. There will be times when sadness and emptiness seem to visit constantly because life is full of ups and downs. The fact that you recognize this change in yourself is a good thing. It proves that you truly want to break free from this current chaos. I know how incredibly hard it is to balance your emotions and relationships during this time because I think almost everyone has been there. Those final days of high school, dragging yourself to class, feeling so heavy because you didn't get enough sleep, and that one math problem from yesterday is still unsolved. Your emotions feel like a giant question mark, leaving you with no energy to laugh with your friends, and so you unintentionally create this invisible distance. And because everyone is going through it, you all just slowly drift apart. But since you've realized this, be the one to take the first step to mend those friendships. Cherish these last days of high school, your close friends, these tangled emotions, even the forced smiles and the tears that stream down your cheeks. Because soon enough, you'll miss these days when your world revolved only around family and friends. These days before you were swept into the daily grind of bills and responsibilities. The friends you make in school are different from any connections you'll make later in life. In contrast to LT, who feels like she's lost her interests and is apathetic about everything, our next listener, Sunny, has found her passion but can't yet pursue it. Let's read Sunny's letter together and see what she has to share. At 17, I didn't choose to write my own dream. I chose to write the rest of my mother's. At this age, I'm constantly burdened with the idea that I need to study something practical, something that will make a lot of money later on. And maybe it was that ideal, the sheer power of money, that became the biggest reason my own passion was eroded. Before the college entrance exams, my family argued more times than I can count, but the reason was always the same: the major I had chosen. At that time, I truly saw redrawing my entire life through art as my one and only fierce passion, the only thing that burned with life in my heart. Without a second thought, I chose graphic design, the major my entire family saw as cheap and common, the major my older brother said just sounds so backwater. My parents always used to say, if you don't have passion, you can't stick with something for the long haul. Yet when it came to their own daughter, they went completely against their own words. They fiercely opposed my dreams and pushed me toward majoring in English. When all my resistance was shot down, it felt like the puppet finally gave up and just obeyed. They demanded that I try my hardest, that I put in every ounce of effort, and that I absolutely had to get accepted. Coming from a small town, I knew I had to work so much harder than everyone else. There were nights I'd just sit there, studying and sobbing quietly to myself. I never had a single night of peaceful sleep. The moment I closed my eyes, visions of my test score not being high enough would flash through my mind. And just like that, I got through those bone-chillingly cold days alone, my fingers numb, still forcing myself to sit and grind through practice tests. As the sweltering summer days approached, it was a blur of school in the morning, school in the afternoon, and then racing home alone after tutoring classes. My mind felt completely empty, lost, and soulless. In the week before the exam, I cried every single night, haunted by the image of failing, with the sound of my family's disappointed voices right beside me. Carrying that immense weight on my shoulders, I walked into the most important exam of my life. And that torment continued for a whole month afterward while I waited for the results. When the results were released, I found out I got in. My score was well above the cutoff for the school. That should have been the happiest day of my life, but I was a fool for celebrating too soon. I had tried so hard. I really did. All I wanted was a single word of encouragement from my family, but instead they were cold and stern, saying it was because I hadn't truly tried, that I wasn't truly determined enough. I just kept asking myself, what do I have to do to earn their approval? It felt like if the pressure from the outside world was crushing me by 3/10, the weight of my own family was crushing me by the other 7. Their heartlessness seemed to grind my dreams into dust. Now my passion for drawing, there's nothing left of it in my heart. And now, on the cusp of adulthood, stepping out into the world, I have no idea what I want or what I need. I feel like someone who is just existing without a single dream to call my own. It's completely normal to have these struggles, these anxieties about your passion, your future path, your career. The fact that you even know what you like is already a huge advantage, but don't rush to follow that passion blindly. That familiar saying, follow your passion and success will follow you, is incredibly inspiring, but it's not always true in the real world. When we're young, we lack life experience. We can be stubborn, sometimes even arrogant about our own ideas. Later, when you step into the real world with all its worries and chaos, you'll realize that no one can pursue their passion indefinitely without a support system. Things like financial stability, good health, or strong relationships. Of course, nobody has it all at once. That's why you could try applying the 4 burners theory to build each element of your life one by one. Imagine you have 4 burners on a stove, one for family, one for friends, one for work, and one for health. The theory goes that to be successful, you have to turn off one of your burners. This means that life balance isn't really about keeping everything perfectly level all the time. It's about allowing you to focus on developing one aspect at a time at specific stages of your life. Or maybe you'll reach a point where you worry that your passion doesn't feel the same as it used to. If that happens, it's okay. You might just realize it was a temporary interest. Be brave. Keep experimenting. Keep experiencing new things. And one day, you will gradually find the path that's the best fit for you. And please remember, your youth is a time for learning, for discovery, and for trying things out. Don't be so quick to label yourself a failure just because you haven't found your passion yet or you're struggling to pursue it. I once read a quote that went something like this: "I didn't get into my dream college, but I got into the right college for me." Who knows? Maybe that second choice school, that backup plan, or whatever college you got into is actually the place where you truly belong. On the day you fill out those applications, there's no absolute right or wrong, and at your age, there are no guarantees about the future. The truth is, everything has a way of falling into place once it happens. All you need is the courage to face it, to experience it, and to learn to love the things that become a part of your story, because true love is never a one-way street. Facing a major exam, a huge life decision, of course I get scared, just like you. But the things I'm most afraid of are the things I haven't done yet. So if you're scared, be scared and do it anyway. You have to keep moving forward to see if there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? Even when you feel like you're lost in the darkest night, please believe that you yourself are a twinkling star. Believe that you can do this. When we place our complete faith in something and constantly remind ourselves of that desire, our nervous system automatically creates a continuous command, finding a way to connect with our hidden resources until we finally achieve that result. It is self-confidence that builds our willpower, and it is our willpower that determines our success. I once saw an image with a powerful two-line exchange. Who hurt you? My own expectations. Navigating the uncertain, turbulent years of our youth, there were times I felt like I was drowning in disappointment, unable to live up to the hopes I had for myself or the expectations of the people I loved and trusted the most. We all carry this deep-seated desire to grow up, to become someone, to achieve something meaningful. But these very expectations are a double-edged sword. One day, they're the fuel that pushes us forward, and the next, they're the anchor that pulls us under. It doesn't matter if we're young or old, still in school, or already building our own lives. The expectations our parents had for us might fade over time, but the expectation we place on ourselves as their child, that desire to make them proud, never truly goes away. We hope to be a source of pride and honor for them, but deep down in the quietest part of a parent's heart, their greatest wish is simply for us to live a life of peace and happiness. So with that in mind, I hope you can make your own happiness your true north. When you do, the challenges and struggles of today feel a little lighter, a little more meaningful than ever before. At the end of the day, we are all striving for happiness, to be happier now and to find a happiness that lasts a lifetime. A precious gem is found hidden in stone. A lotus flower grows from the mud. True happiness is never just handed to you, and it certainly doesn't fall from the sky. It's earned. You've been working so hard for so long, and your destination is right there, just ahead. Please, be brave, take that next step, and find the happiness that is truly yours. It all reminds me of a feeling, like a frozen moment right before we all had to say goodbye. Those school days, they just flew by in a blur, like a beautiful dream. Looking back, we were so wonderfully naive, weren't we? Please, don't you cry. We are meant to grow. We are meant to walk our own new roads. My dear friend, thank you for joining me on this journey through our innermost thoughts here on Mind Window. If this story resonated with you, if it sparked something in your heart, Please show your support by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss our next conversation. Sharing this with someone who might need to hear it would mean the world to us. And now, I'd love to open the floor to you. What expectations are you navigating in your own life? Please share your story and your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue this beautiful conversation together.